You really have to be incredibly honest, because as the awakener, you want to come from a place of truth so you can receive truth and so you can move with truth along your path to who you intend to be. You are much worthier than you've been letting yourself believe. The one thing that the dark night of the soul taught me as well was how I've been seeing myself for so many years. The awareness is key, because once you're aware of that, then you realize that you're not these things. These are just things that you've sort of allowed to pile on because of what we've gone through. The Hanged Man is probably the surrender energy, is the card that saved me during my dark night of the soul and helped me even understand the power of surrender. I was living in a homeless shelter with my son, and I was just like literally about to go crazy, and every single door closing. I said, Spirit, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to go play my guitar in this parking lot every morning and just sing at the top of my lungs. So find that thing that you love and give whatever you're stressed about or worried about or constantly thinking about a rest. You will be blown away at how it will have moved when you come back.
Hello, beautiful souls. It is Sophia from Sacred You. Thank you so much for being here. Before we dive into today's podcast, I do have a small request from my heart. If our conversations ever resonate with you or have supported you on your journey, please subscribe to our channel or like this video. It helps us grow Sacred You, welcome more powerful voices into this space, and keep you connected to everything we share. Thank you for walking this path with us. Let us begin with today's conversation. Welcome to the Archetypes of the Soul podcast. My name is Sophia from Sacred You. And with me today in this really exciting episode, I'm going to say exciting because I am so excited to talk to the beautiful Meeka Brown. Meeka, thank you. Welcome for joining us. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Archetypes of the Soul. Your work, Meeka, you are an amazing woman, because you had tarot, because I've experienced that, tarot and oracle readings and all your cards and everything. You do subconscious transformation and breath work and use your intuition. But I'd love to know, Meeka, 2 questions before we really start. First of all, I'd love to know a little bit about you. Tell us how you got to where you are now. And we're on the Archetypes of the Soul. So what does the word archetype actually mean for you personally?
Thank you again, Sophia, for having me. I feel so blessed to be here and be able to share any information that I may know that may uplift and inspire others. My name is Meeka, the Traveling Tarot, and that actually started several years ago when I was going through my own personal dark night of the soul and learning how to navigate and use energy to transform. I fell into tarot because I had a reading done for me at a studio session and was blown away when a few days later I watched a YouTube video and it was saying the same thing. And one thing led to another, and I decided that I had to learn how to use this tool to uplift and understand my life better. I was raised devout Christian, and so it was very taboo, but I was drawn to it. And so cut to several years later, I'm now the Traveling Tarot for my actual line of business. And I'm able to use these cards as specifically as archetypes and as understanding the energetic patterns that we're all moving through. And so one of the things I quickly learned was that tarot, especially for me, was not about prediction. It was about understanding the current energies and understanding where you are and how to get to where you'd like to be. And so that is one of my favorite topics and the perfect time for me to be on this show, because I'm literally talking about moving through the Queen archetypes, which was one of the first lessons I learned about archetypes when I came out of that dark night of the soul.
Which we definitely want to get into. And first of all, let's just start by honoring you for coming
Thank
on
you.
to our podcast, because you are an amazing podcast host as well. I've had the honor of being on your podcast,
Thank you.
so I feel very privileged. So thank you for coming. And you've also described, Meeka, that your journey, your whole journey has been a blend of the phoenix, just rising from the ashes, and the oracle. So let's go into that. Why do these archetypes resonate so much for you?
Sophia, that's a great question. I actually took your archetypes quiz that's on your website, and it said I was an awakener. And that makes so much sense because about connecting people to the deeper truth, about helping them understand their intuition and becoming more self-aware, that sort of was the natural progression as I was learning to do that myself. And it's so exciting because I realized that I was being groomed to put to be put in this position as an awakener because I like to help those understand and reconnect to their truth through the experiences that I can actually say, yeah, this is why I know this is what's going on, because I'm not just talking at you. I'm on this journey with you. I'm in this process of awakening.
Yeah. And that's the big thing, isn't it? That you're on a journey with people, that we're all still going on a journey of awakening, even those who have been on it for quite a long time, who may feel or may seem to be very enlightened as such, but we're still on that journey because we're still here.
I love that we are now starting to understand that we do hold the power, and community and connecting is going to be the way that we can collectively raise this consciousness of society and of the collective.
Yeah, because it's time. Now, let's also bring in this fascinating idea that you've also mentioned, talked about before, is a spiritual rider, your inner guide.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, let's talk about that as an archetype, and how does it help you when you step into that persona, that archetype?
So I love that. The initial idea of spiritual writer derived from my I Came to Win program, which started as a song that I wrote and it developed into this experience. But a spiritual writer is literally you're the celebrity, you're the star of your life. You are the person that needs to show up. And so, as the celebrity, the idea of a writer is these are the rules that I need to show up. And so, your spiritual writer are those things and those values that need to be in a situation, in another person, in a job, in a whatever that are going to allow you to fully show up as who you are. And so, I always like to say, even in my readings, if these things are not met, I don't show up to perform. And so that's pretty much the basic idea of the spiritual writer. And so just starting with your values is going to be such a powerful way to not only know where you are energetically, but what needs to stay or go in terms of where you're headed.
Yeah, which is again so very true. And I love it how that you have these kind of rules set in place that if they're not, that you don't show up, because it's valuing your time and your
Yes.
energy
Yes.
and everything else. And that is really, it shows a lot of self-worth. So just like to honor you for that, Meeka, because that's another big thing, especially for women, but I know also men as well, that a lot of women have issues around the self-worth, that I'm not
Yes.
worthy. My time is not as valuable as your time.
Yes,
And
yes. And I love that we're starting to wake up a little bit more to that, though. And I love that women are also, there's communities like the beautiful Sacred You.Love that are here to help uplift women and encourage people to use their voice. I know one thing about your story and your interview that stood out to me was how you felt that you weren't even worthy enough to speak at one point in your life, and it physically affected your speech. And that's, I think, a lot of women are feeling that way now because they really don't feel like they have a story to tell. So one of the first queens that you move through in terms of tarot is going to be that Queen of Swords, because the only way that you can know where your true passion lies, how to manifest the life that you want, and the true love that you deserve is to get clear on what that is. And that's when that spiritual writer comes into effect. These are the values that must be here for love. These are the values that must be here for me to accept an opportunity or a friendship or a partnership.
Absolutely. And totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. I'd like to go back a little bit because you talked about, if it's okay, your dark
Sure.
night of the soul. There, that we all go through at different times.
Yes.
And because we've gone through so many, we've had so many wounds in different ways, physical, emotional wounds, spiritual wounds. And for you, Meeka, how have you used, and how can women who are listening in your experience use the archetypes to really help identify the wounds, first of all, identify the wounds, and then to really step into our true power? How can we use whatever archetype it is? How can we use those personas, those archetypes, to help us become who we're meant to be?
I think it really starts with being truly honest with yourself. And that's why in the tarot, they can say the swords energy, which
Yeah.
I find is the one that you have to really go through first before you can embody any of the other ones, can be a tough energy because there's some realizations in there, there's some perspective shifts, there's some surrendering, and there's some pain that you do have to, and specifically limiting beliefs that you do have to work through. And so I feel that, like I say, with my moving through the queen, specifically archetypes, that clarity is going to be the first thing that you are going to need to embody. And so the swords energy is what that is all about. You may receive that inspiration with the ace of swords, but now you're in the two of swords is going to have you not sure where to go, which might cause a stalemate. You decide to make the move, which goes into the three of swords, which is the pain. And so you're really moving through the mental part of things, which will eventually spark the next, which would be the wands energy, which is the queen of wands. Now you're getting clear. So you've got your passion back, your fire, you're starting to feel again, the colors starting to come back into your life. You're starting to be led by that passion. And so the boundaries begin to set themselves. It all falls back to the self-worth that you mentioned, because the more you decide what you truly deserve and who you are, the boundaries set themselves. You realize, hey, I'm not going to put up with this. Hey, I deserve better than this. I won't put up with this person treating me this way. And it's a progression. So you've got to be really gentle with yourself along the way.
Yeah. And it's so very true.
Yeah.
Especially being gentle, because we live in such a world today of instant fixes, instant
Yes.
everything. We want instant gratification, instant me, instant this, and not realizing or even accepting that healing and transformation is a progression. It's a journey.
Yes.
It's not the destination. It's a journey to get to the destination, which doesn't,
Very much.
Okay.
Very much. And it's like you can have those quantum moments because we are living moment by moment. You are going through this progression, which means that, yeah, you can feel like $1,000,000 in this moment and then hear a song. And now you're back in that energy of that you felt prior to that. The beautiful thing is each moment you can choose differently. And it does change every single time you choose differently. And so that's really what the queen archetype is, grounding yourself in your new truth. For the pages, they're learning, they're understanding, they're just receiving new information that they're learning how to use until they become the knight. Then they start taking action on those ideas. Now the queen comes in and she grounds herself. She stays grounded long enough in that energy to become the king, which is mastery, which is why the archetypes are not gender specific. They're all about the energy. And so a male, female, whatever, is going to move through each one of these, whether it be the page, the king, the queen, the knight. It's all the energy that ends up becoming mastery of the king.
And I love it how you can take all the different cards of the tarot and turn them into archetypes to use their virtues, their qualities, their aspects in our lives.
And I love so much that I'm being called to do this because I'm being told by my own guides that people may not understand the way that I do connect to tarot
Yeah.
as much as they're used to. But I'm also being told that I'm meant to change that perspective of people because tarot is a mirror of
Mm.
you. It is going to tell you where you really are if you truly believe what's being said there and not trying to sugarcoat it. Because sometimes when you're doing readings on yourself, you're not sure if you're leaning towards what you want to hear or not. But if you're being honest, then you're going to get the actual reflection of how you really feel about that question that you've asked. And so you're now taking the energy of that card, and that's pretty much what archetypes is. You're learning what the energetic patterns are, and each card does have its own energy. And so once I realized that it's speaking directly to me and to my intuition, then my interpretations became a lot more spot on because I wasn't just trying to fit a meaning into these keywords that I had learned. So I think foundationally, definitely learn what you can about the tarot, but really tune into what the card is telling you, specifically when you see people in the cards, because there is a reason for that.
Thank you for explaining that. And of course, you are an amazing tarot reader. And for anyone who is watching or listening, if you'd like a reading with your tarot, and especially to help you understand, first of all, to understand the tarot, but also to understand the personas of the tarot, the archetypes of the tarot, and how they're affecting your life, do reach out to Meeka, because I've experienced it. It is so very accurate. You get a lot of tarot readings. This is just going off a little bit. You get a lot of tarot readings, oracle readings, things like that, that it's not quite true. But Meeka is not like that. So definitely reach out to Meeka if you like an honest, authentic tarot reading.
Yes.
The links are below, so do that. There's so much more to ask you, Meeka, especially about the different archetypes and the phoenix and the oracle and even your spiritual writer. I love that. I love that. In your experience, in your journey, what happens for a woman or for anyone actually, because you said and it's true, they're both men or women, it doesn't really matter. But what does life really look like for someone who is operating from that spiritual rider?
At first, it really can feel a bit lonely. And this is just being very honest with everyone, which is why community is so important. The spiritual journey is a very personal journey. And so it can be lonely, especially when you're used to having people and things around that were just noise. So when it gets quiet, you might start to doubt that you made the right decision. But the truth is, if you continue to hold on to your faith, continue to hold on to what you know is true and what you're hearing, then the right people will start to show up. The right opportunities will start to show up. Everything that you need and want that is within you is already there. But the first part of it is definitely, again, that Queen of Swords, where you're like setting those boundaries and saying, we were just talking about the energy leaks. Where is my energy being leaked that I need to plug up and really see what is still needed now with me along this path and where I'm actually headed and who I intend to be, because that's the other thing that the spiritual rider reinforces, who you intend to be. And before you actually can get that rider in place, you got to know who that is. And so part of the first part of the course that I have on the I Came to Win course and program is character development, because you're being the star of your show. It's a Hollywood motif. So it asks you a bunch of questions about who you intend to be, what kind of car they drive, who's around, literally get you building the person that you are within your world. Then you move into setting the stage, which is basically where you live, the type of people that are around, the type of lifestyle that you live. That is when you are very clear. So you know what to put into that spiritual rider. Because before you can do anything, before you can build any world, you must be clear on who you intend to be in that world. And so it's a three-pronged attack where you get clear on who that is, set that stage, and now this writer says, if these things are not met, I'm not showing up. My energy doesn't belong there. And so you really have to be incredibly honest during all of this, because you want to, as the awakener, you want to come from a place of truth so you can receive truth. And so you can move with truth along your path to who you intend to be.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Love all
And
that.
so I think that's the most important thing for any woman, man, anyone listening. You've got to get clear on who that is and be brutally honest with yourself. Just start journaling who you intend to be, and the things that no longer vibrate with that in terms of frequency will be blaringly obvious. And you'll say, okay, I know I need to start here.
Start letting go of all the parts of our lives, and even our archetypes, our personas. Start letting go of all the ones that we've taken on from other people.
Yes, yes.
Happens.
And it's very valuable to even recognize those, even if you are in a devil energy right now. It could just mean that you're afraid of something or you're codependent on something. This is one of the things I love about tarot, is that some people are afraid of that card. Some people are afraid of the tower, but all it means is that there's something a little bit off and you have the power to change it now that you're aware of it. That's the reason why I never have these. And I actually even asked AI about this. How come I never really had these dark interactions with tarot? And they said it's about the reader. I take the information and I don't take it on as darkness befalling me. And so they say because I take it and use it in that way, it's never made me feel like a darkness was surrounding me.
Which is a wonderful quality to have, because we live in such a world of duality. It is so easy to get caught up into the negativity, the darkness, so very.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
more challenging. It's more of an awareness, a focus to keep on the light side, the positivity.
Yeah. A conscious choice every single day, and it's worth every minute of doing it.
Yes, see the positive in everything. Even in these painful patterns, whether it's relationships or even just in our life, we have a lot of painful patterns that keep repeating. So for your personal experience, if you'd like to share, or if you know of anyone else too, if these painful patterns keep repeating, what archetype do you think might be really unconsciously running the show? And what do we do about it?
100% the devil. The devil represents that codependency, which is habits, which is those things that we think we are or have because of the experiences that we have had, or the life that we've experienced up to this point have made us believe certain things about ourselves. And again, the awareness is key, because once you're aware of that, then you realize that you're not these things. These are just things that you've allowed to pile on because of what we've gone through. But the beautiful thing about being aware that the devil is running the show is that you can slowly start to change that by just surrendering, which I would say the Hanged Man is probably the surrender energy, is the card that saved me during my dark night of the soul and helped me even understand the power of surrender. I was living in a homeless shelter with my son. I was just reeling from heartache, things not working out, people not answering the phone, not doing their job, people telling me that, oh, you're only going to be here for a little while, and it just turning into almost a year. And I was just literally about to go crazy, and every single door closing. I said, Spirit, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to go play my guitar in this parking lot every morning and just sing at the top of my lungs. And so I did that for 2 weeks. And literally 2 weeks later, my son gets this call and gets hired to be an assistant director. They move us to this beautiful apartment. They take care of it. And it's just, wow, Spirit, now I see why I couldn't be all that stuff couldn't work out. I would not have been available for this incredible life-changing blessing. And so the Hanged Man is going to be the best counter to that devil energy, because your habits are going to come up. The devil also represents the shadow side of things. And so if you're feeling like you just don't know what to do, relax into your situation, find a place of acceptance, go get yourself a Coke and let the energy move, because when you come back, it will have changed. Literally, your focus on it is the only thing that's keeping you from seeing it clearly if you're not looking at it through a set of pure eyes. But definitely the devil energy and surrender, those are going to be the basis of the whole everything else starting. Because as soon as I did that surrender, and I was in my beautiful apartment and my life was changed in such a way where I was like, oh my God, something else is happening. Because there's no way I would have actually been able to say this was about to happen. It was just like, this is something Spirit's doing. That's when I knew it's time for me to get into that Queen of Swords energy. Let's go ahead and set some boundaries. Let's decide how this is going to look now, because I could see that I was in control now in a much more controlled way energetically. So the things that went before couldn't come with me into this new reality. And so the fear first, the shadow shows up, the Hanged Man for surrender. And then you're going to jump right into that swords energy of what needs to go. What's my truth? It can't come with me. It can't be here with me. And you'll know, you'll feel it. And if you trust yourself and are honest, it'll be easy for you to say, nah, no, thank you.
Yeah, good. Thank you so much for explaining that, because again, it's so very true. It's following guidance, following, stepping into your archetype or stepping in your personas. And if you need any guidance in that, as you've been talking about, Meeka, have a tarot reading or have a tarot card every day. Do your own things.
That's really helpful. Yeah. And it helps you learn so much the archetypes and just how they apply to you. In fact, I have a beginner's tarot, and I'd be more than happy to give it to anybody that's listening if they're interested. It's a full workbook that helps you understand not just the card and the meanings, but also it asks you journal prompts so that you can say, oh, this is what the Fool energy is. Oh, this is what the Emperor energy is. And it also gives you NLP techniques and breathing exercises. But I'd be more than happy to provide it. Also, there's a printable deck at the end. So if you don't have a deck, you can print it and cut it out and start reading right away.
Good.
But
And again,
I've found that this is my, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and again, all those links are below. So do click on the links below and take advantage of that one.
Yes, and I want to definitely give that to you. Yeah, I want to make sure I give that to you because I think it's a really valuable way for people to learn. And the fact that I'm becoming this teacher of tarot really is fascinating to me. But I do love it. I really do. It has changed my life. And I invite anybody to not just let go of their preconceived ideas of what it is or what the media says it is or the evil that they've been told that it is, and really look into how this tool can change your life. It changed my life. It really did.
I'm so glad it did. So, Meeka, before we wrap up, I'd love to know a little bit more about you. Now you are a tarot reader. Obviously, you have that book that people can also access to help them understand tarot as well. But you also have a tarot neuroalchemy method that helps women to identify and shift limiting beliefs, limiting archetypal patterns. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, I love that. And thank you for bringing that up. So, this is much more than just a reading. As I'm moving into more of a teacher and being a certified NLP practitioner, I put together a method where we start with custom spreads, we do readings, and we find out exactly what your current energy is around your question or your main area of focus. And then we start to find out what challenges you might face. Again, these are all custom spreads based on your situation. And then we put together a practical action plan from anchoring, using NLP techniques, breathing exercises, daily things that you can do to start chipping away at those preconceived ideas of yourself and start to fully step into these different archetypes. Because undoubtedly, when I get the chance to talk to you, I can tell you exactly where you're at energetically, and I can tell you exactly how to get out of that as well. Really, I love the cards and I use them because they have become a major part of my life, but I don't need them. So if you aren't caught into tarot, I can still help you with some advice, some NLP techniques, and breathing exercises that'll help you shift your perspective of yourself, thus opening up the energetic world to you in different ways.
Good. And again, something I thoroughly recommend, especially the breathing exercises. Breath work,
Very much.
incredible tool to shift.
Yes.
Breathe
Also,
out.
those sessions do come with a custom meditation as well. I like to create meditations as I'm a musician. And so anything that we find that you need to reprogram, whether it be shadow work or abundance mindset, those things we can craft within the session so that we can then make sure that you have the meditation that you need to change. Because Sophia and I, we both agree sound is an incredible way to also shift your energy.
Totally. And something else I agree with very much. And what about your I Came to Win program? How does that help women move through wounded archetypes?
I love this because this is the program that I've basically been talking about and the spiritual writer. It's all about you getting clear, that character development in that first module or that first session. You're literally filling out a character breakdown. You're getting very detailed about exactly who you intend to be. Then we'll move into building that world, who this new person is. Then my favorite module is unwritten because you're now in that energy of who you decide to be. And this one is where the spiritual writer comes into place because not only are you clear now on who you decide to be, but we also infuse it with the power of surrender and the power of intention. And throughout the course, there are also exercises where you will do a quick 3-card oracle reading. You pull a card after each module and write down exactly what comes up. And then by the end of that, you're going to see that you've given yourself a 3-card reading and some clarity on whatever did come up during that session. And so it really helps not only get very clear, but also help you understand and see the power of surrender, the power of intention. And one of my favorite stories I'll quickly tell you that I use in this I Came to Win program is I was riding the bus. I was like struggling to get to this new job that I really loved. And one night, I sat and I wrote a letter to my guides and I just said, thank you so much. I love this job. I love the people that I work with. I know you guys are working this out for me. I know you guys are going to help me get here with ease so that it's not such a struggle. And then I went into how much I love driving because I really do. If it's open road, it's a freeing experience for me. Literally the next day, my boss of 2 weeks says, I'm not sure why, but I got this inspiration and a car randomly fell into my lap this morning and I wanted to be sure that you'd be okay if I bought you this car. I was driving home from work that night. And so I love that story because it's another one of those instances of the power of surrender, the
Yes.
power of letting go. I feel like because I didn't go into this complaining and saying, oh man, this is so hard. Oh, what are you guys going to do? How am I going to do this? And I just told them how much I really love this. And I really got lost in how much I love to drive because I really do. If you can really find some real truth and enthusiasm about it and then let it go, it'll show up very fast. Yeah. And that's why clarity is the number one thing. Decide who you intend to be in every moment and do your damnedest to be that.
Be really clear, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even if it is going against what everyone else thinks.
Yes,
Very
yes. And
subtle.
nowadays it might be because we're understanding that we're all living our own perspectives. And so that should help you let go of the need for somebody else to be something in order for you to be something. I always
Yes,
tell my son this: show up as who you are. It doesn't matter if so and so's not doing their job. You show up because that's who you are. You show
yes.
up with confidence and truth and unapologetically and authentically. It's irrelevant what anybody says or does at that
Yes.
point.
I love this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Meeka, a couple of last questions. If your spiritual writer could speak directly to your younger self, the younger version of who you are now, what would she say?
She would definitely say that you are much worthier than you've been letting yourself believe. The one thing that the dark night of the soul taught me as well was how I've been seeing myself for so many years. Because as soon as I decided I wasn't those things anymore, my life opened up in myriad ways. And that's all we have to do is decide we're not this or that instead and start acting like it. It'll change instantly.
It will, totally. And for someone listening who feels a little bit disconnected from themselves, where do they begin, especially in discovering their own archetypes and how to use that in their lives?
I love this because I always say that if you can just strip away everything that you believe it's supposed to be and get back to why you're doing it, which is the why or the love for it, or if you can't even find that, just connect to nature. It's one of the fastest ways, or gratitude, or music. Music always speaks to me. I've taken to making sure I just turn music on right when I wake up so that energy can just fill the house and it really carries you. So find that thing that you love and give whatever you're stressed about or worried about or constantly thinking about a rest. You will be blown away at how it will have moved when you come back. So find something that you love. I think I told you about that spiral day I had about a month ago, and I connected quickly to randomly like Abraham Hicks, who keeps it very simple. Just find the joy. And when I started doing that, everything else started to flow in incredible ways
Yeah.
because
And
it
that's
all
the
flows in the same direction. Yeah, you just have to
totally
find the
does.
energy of it.
It
Yeah.
totally does. And I believe that is like the purpose in life, in finding that joy, living that joy. Life is
Yes.
meant to be joyful. Not
Absolutely. And
serious.
it does infuse in everything else you're doing. So even if you feel like you're stuck in this job or stuck in this relationship, find the joy and it will start to change those things, or at least make it blaringly obvious that these aren't going to bring you joy, which is also great information because we want the truth.
Yeah. All right, Meeka, is there any other questions about archetypes or intuition or transformation, anything that I could have asked you but haven't?
I think it was pretty thorough, but I will leave you guys with this. Your intuition is going to be that first thought. Everything else is either talking you into it or out of it. So trust that spiritual nudge and follow those nudges because that's what's leading you directly to what you asked for. And it might not look the way you thought it would, but it'll get you there.
Totally, it's very true. Trust your intuition.
Yeah.
Thank you, my
Mm-hmm.
dear. It's been a joy. We will be putting your links, especially your podcast links, so for people to reach out
Appreciate
for you
that.
to have a reading and everything else that we've talked about. Thank you. I'm
So
honored, and please do come back on the archetypes of the soul. Let's have more conversation. I really would love to get into even more deeper as you talk about all the tarot archetypes, all the tarot personas, their positions, the cards. Really go into them even more deeper. So thank you ever so much for coming on today.
thank you. And thank you for having me. I'm also going to go ahead and send you that link because, like I said, if anybody wants to even just thumb through it, you'll be blown away whether you use the cards or not at how it'll help you understand archetypes on a deeper level and how it actually will help you understand your personal archetype right now.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. It's been an
All
honor.
right. Thank you. I appreciate you, Sophia. I appreciate Sacred You. I love you guys. Thank you.
What a beautiful conversation with Meeka Brown. As she reminded us, your intuition is often that very first nudge, the quiet inner voice guiding you towards the life that you are meant to live. The invitation is to trust it. Today, we explored the powerful archetypes that shape our journey. The Queen of Swords, who calls us into clarity, truth, and healthy boundaries, to the Queen of Wands, who reignites our passion, purpose, and confidence. We also explored the Awakener, helping us reconnect with our authentic selves and even the shadow archetypes that reveal where healing and transformation are ready to occur. If you would like to dive deeper into Meeka's work, including her tarot neuroalchemy method, the I Came to You Win program, and the Beginner's Tarot workbook, you will find all the links in the show notes below. For more empowering conversations, tools, and strategies, do follow Sacred You on all the social media and visit our website at www.sacredyou, that is the letter U, .love. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button or give us a like so that you never miss another episode. Visit our website to complete the archetype quiz at sacredyou.love/quiz. Like the phoenix rising from the ashes, Meeka's own story reminds us that our darkest seasons often become the foundation for our greatest awakening. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of uncertainty can become an invitation to step more fully into our authentic power. As you leave this episode, ask yourself, which archetype is calling you forward right now? Until next time, stay aligned in who you are. Stay open to who you are becoming. From our hearts to yours, thank you for walking this sacred journey with us.